Hey Harper, I know you're a team first individual, but it felt like getting a career high 23 kills was needed in that match. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I think the first two sets wasn't our best volleyball, and I said it before, but the first two sets wasn't Nebraska volleyball, so just finding a way to get back to that and go back to our training, and that's what we talked about between the second and third set, just going back to Nebraska volleyball, and I mean, we all stepped up in our own ways, so I think I was just able to do that with my attacking, so I'm just lucky I had Bergen there because our connection struggled at first, and then we got it going, so.
How does that connection evolve during the match too? Is that communication or just feeling where you're at that day? How does that change during the day?
I mean, yeah, I feel like the gym plays a big role in that, and that's not to use that as an excuse, but playing in Bob all the time and then going to a new gym, a lot can affect that, and sometimes that's the setting, sometimes it's serving and passing, just how the ball moves. So I think it's just adjusting to where we are, and John used to say great ones adjust, so that's kind of what we revert back to in moments like that, but there's a lot of things that go into that, for sure.
Speaking of adjustment, you saw some players who mid-match had their roles change and then got back out there.
Yeah.
How do you see them handle that and continue to contribute in their different role?
Yeah, we're just really lucky to have that many people, and everyone has their own strengths. So we're just lucky that we have that deep of a roster, and we're able to make changes like that because not a lot of schools can do that in moments when they need it. So we're just we're just super lucky that we have so many people that are ready to go in.
Dani talked about the match too. Like part of that is trusting them to make those decisions on who needs to be moved around and roles need to be adjusted. What does it take to have that trust in them that they're going to put you in a position to succeed?
I mean, yeah, we play together all the time. Like every day we're playing and we're competing, so we all know what it's like to play against each other. We learn each other's strengths and weaknesses. So, like I said, we're just super lucky that we have that many people, but I just think that trust comes from practice and comes from playing together and getting used to it because any of those girls could come in and do a great job. So we're just lucky that we're able to compete together like that, and we have such a competitive gym, like the A and B side. Half the time the B side can beat the A side, and you never know how that's going to go. So we're just lucky that we have that many competitive girls who are willing to wait their turn and then execute when they need to.
You talk about having to make personal sacrifices for the betterment of the team. How is that a high priority conversation?
A little bit. I think at the end of the day, we're team first, and that's something we talk about all the time in our locker room. Like, we're team first, and people are ready to make changes. People are ready to go in and do what's best for the team. So if that's getting subbed out and having to be a cheerleader on the bench, that's what's going to happen, and everyone's going to do it with a smile on their face because we always push team first. And like Dani says all the time, we're more worried about a banner than an All-American or awards like that. So that's what we try and focus on.
Working with Dani and Jalen now, is that reset or refined anything you do hitting?
A little bit. I mean, the coaches all kind of switched around who they're working with the most, but I think Kelly touched on it a few weeks ago. Like, it's super collaborative between all the coaches, so we can get feedback from anyone, but I do work with Jalen a lot. He helps me with passing, helps me with blocking, attacking, all of it. So he's just a very vocal leader, and it's nice having him with me. I've had a good relationship with him since I was in 8th grade and got recruited here, so I know how he coaches. He knows what I need. I know what he needs from me, so it's just a good dynamic that we have.
Harper, what's the fun level that you sense from this?
Fun level?
Yeah, the fun level
Okay.
that you sense from this group right now, playing on national TV, new arenas, top 10 matches, bigger roster, just kind of all the dynamics that are playing into the first couple weeks of the season.
I mean, I think we're lucky that we have that stage to play on, and we have so many new people this year. We have Virginia, a lot of the freshmen are new, so having them get to experience what Nebraska is all about and how much love and support we have from the fans and from people across the country, I think it's super cool for them to experience that because before you get here, you don't really understand. So I think it's been really fun for all of them to experience it, and it's also fun for the upperclassmen and the people who have been here to watch them embrace it and watch them take it all in. And, you know, the older girls were a little used to it by now, but it never gets old. So it's just been super fun, and all the freshmen have worked so hard this whole preseason and going into the season. So it's been really cool to see them grow and see them enjoy what Nebraska volleyball is all about.
Are there things about Dani's culture that bring that out, that encourage that type of atmosphere within the team?
A little bit. I think Dani's a little bit more willing for mistakes, and during practice we have a little bit more room for error, and I think that brings a little bit of light to the gym just because we're not afraid to make errors. Like, practice is the time to mess up and try new things. So I think it does. It lets us release a little bit and have a little bit more fun with it and try new things. But, you know, Dani also brought a little bit of her culture over from Louisville, and it was pretty much the same, what it was there and what we have now. And like I keep saying, Nebraska's standard doesn't change just because we have a new coach. We all know what the standard is. We all know what we expect from each other. So nothing really changes for us.
Are there any new things that you're trying in practice that you're trying to implement in your game?
You know, Dani hates tipping. So I'm trying not to tip as much, but recently it's been working. So that's kind of interesting to get used to just because tipping is something that is kind of evolving in the game. So that's definitely something I'm working on. I'm trying not to tip as much.
What are you looking forward to most about your first home match here at Bob Devaney Sports Center this year?
I think it's just exciting to be back in Bob. We have so many people that come from all over the country to watch us play, and I think we take it for granted sometimes how special it is to play in Bob because it's hard to come here as an away team and beat Nebraska Volleyball with all of our fans. So I think it's just really exciting, and I think it's going to give the fans an opportunity to see how deep our roster is and hopefully give everyone a chance to prove that. So it's just really exciting, and, you know, it's always fun playing in Bob, so you can't really complain.
Does it feel weird that your guys' true home opener is like 3 weeks into the season?
Yeah, a little bit, but at the same time, like, AVCA was so fun, and in a way it felt like a home match. We basically had it all Nebraska fans, so it didn't really feel any different, but AVCA was super fun, and I know we all enjoyed how that turned out, of course, but, you know, I feel like it didn't change much for us just because it felt like a home match.
For a lot of pins coming out of high school, maybe back row play is what takes the longest, yet that's what's getting Teraya on the court right now. What have you seen from her and how she's able to help this team in the role she's playing?
Yeah, she's a great passer, and that's something that's super important coming into college and being able to do everything as a sixth rotation outside. So her defense is remarkable, and her passing is outstanding for a freshman. And I know it was better than mine, so I'm super impressed with her, and I'm really happy that she's getting the chance to show that because I feel like she's definitely holding her own back there.
You guys obviously schedule hard every year with the non-conference, but now that you're sort of through these first 2 weeks, how mentally draining is playing 3 top 10 teams right out of the gate like that? And just now that you're through, I guess, how do you handle things going forward?
I don't even think it's draining. I think it's a great test for us just because starting out season, you want to play good competition. Like, you want to do that early because then you don't want to just see it when you get to Big Ten play. So I think it's actually really good for us, and we've enjoyed it. Like, opening our season to Pitt and Stanford is awesome, and like I said, it's amazing that we were able to do that, but I think it's really cool that we get to do that, and I don't think it's draining in any way. Maybe a little bit stressful just at times because you're starting off on such a high, and you don't want to lose those first few games, especially when you're playing top 20 teams. But I think it's really good for us just to see our flaws, and it's harder to do that against low-level teams. So finding out what our flaws are early is going to be really good for us.
Time for a couple more.
Outside of the depth, what do you think that you've learned about this team against Kentucky?
Ooh. I feel like I kind of knew this already, but I feel like I just learned a lot about how we compete and seeing at different times like what different people can bring. I think we all know what we can bring to the table, but it's kind of showing like who's going to step up in those moments and how people compete and how people react to positive and negative feedback. And you know, we got to know each other really well the past few months, so that's still something to watch out for. But I think it's just been really fun to see how we compete together against another high-level team like Kentucky.
You're seeing another new side of Dani with just working with her in a match. What has that been like?
And Dani's super fun, and she's a little bit more vocal and active than Coach was, so that's kind of an adjustment for us. But it's super collaborative between all the coaches during timeouts and during rallies, and I think it's really fun to see that just because we're all open to seeing more feedback from more people and different coaches. So it's been really cool just to see how she handles those moments too, and how we respond to her and how she responds to us, and how she can learn from us and how we can learn from her too.
The game was in Nashville. What was the game experience like? I mean, there's 10,000 people there, but a lot of them were Nebraska fans too.
Yeah.
Did that kind of help you during that rally to come back and use that energy?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, I keep saying this all the time, but we're really lucky that we have that many fans across the country to help and support us. And I don't know if we would have been able to pull that off without their encouragement and without their energy and presence. Of course, that starts with us on the court, and I think that started to feed into the crowd a little bit, but we're definitely lucky to have them there, and I feel like it helps us push to win a lot of the time.
All right, thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Coach will be here in a few minutes.